What is going on, Wastanders? It is me, Lone Vault Wanderer, here with a discussion video on whether Fallout 4 is going to be winning Game of the Year. So the nominees for the 2015 Game Awards have been announced, and Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt is leading the way with 7 total nominations, including a nod for overall Game of the Year. Now the article that I'm talking off of, as always, is linked in the description below, but I'm just going to be talking loosely around this topic. So yes, Fallout 4 is nominated for Game of the Year as well, but it does have less overall nominations than The Witcher 3, and I think many people are asking, actually I've seen many people argue about this already, whether Fallout 4 is going to be Game of the Year or whether it's going to be Witcher 3. Now mind you, there are still a lot of other great games nominated for Game of the Year, which include Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Super Mario Maker. Now, I have to give full disclosure here, I've only played a small amount of The Witcher, so I can't give any opinion on that, and I have not played Metal Gear, Bloodborne, or Super Mario Maker, so it would be unfair for me to sit here and say, yep, Fallout 4 should win Game of the Year, because my opinion would be completely biased, and my opinion would be completely skewed. It just would not be fair for me to do that. But at the very least, I can speak from the perspective that I'm someone that reads a lot of gaming news, I read a lot of reviews, and for the past year in terms of the big AAA games that have been released, and definitely with regards to the games that have been put onto this nominations list for the Game of the Year, I can at least gauge to some extent what I think is going to be the Game of the Year this year. And even judging by the article that I've linked to you below, it's probably going to be Witcher 3. The critical reception to that game was absolutely astoundingly positive. I mean, not only from your typical critics, but also as well from users. If you go to the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Metacritic page, it has a Metascore of 92 and a user score of 8.8 based on 3,752 ratings. Now, having a look at the Metacritic score for Fallout 4, it still has a very positive 86 Metascore from critics, but the user score is 5.1, and that's based on 3,712 ratings. Now, you guys saw in my Fallout 4 review, I'm not a big fan of dwindling down thoughts into an arbitrary score, based on a scale of 0 to 10. I don't think it's helpful in any sense of the word, but we also need to remember that a lot of the people that are judges for the Game Awards 2015 are typically also those that do game reviews. I mean, the Game of the Year is going to be judged by a jury of 32 international media. So you have people from Edge Magazine, Entertainment Weekly, Associated Press, Games Informer, Games Radar, Giant Bomb, IGN, the kinds of traditional gaming reviewers that you see every time a big AAA game is released. And these are of course the types of websites that typically give a score out of 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 for a game. So at the very least, there is some usefulness looking to a Metascore to determine what game is probably going to be Game of the Year this year. However, we can't just take such a hardline approach because Bloodborne has the same Metascore as The Witcher, and Metal Gear Solid on the Xbox One has a 95 Metascore and then 93 on PS4, so outing both of those games. So it's just one factor that we need to consider. But just based on my general glances of the gaming industry and the reviews that came out, there was the general feel that when The Witcher came out, it was definitely Game of the Year, it was definitely this amazing game, probably more so than Metal Gear, and probably more so than Bloodborne. Of course, that's subjective opinion, and you can argue in the comments below, but Witcher just seems like the game that is going to win Game of the Year this year. Don't get me wrong, I would love Fallout 4 to win Game of the Year because I'm a fan of the series, and I don't hide that fact. But looking at it objectively, I just don't think it is going to happen. I think it could win some other awards, but probably not Game of the Year. But even so, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, Fallout 4 still has a Game of the Year nomination, and if you are enjoying the game and having fun playing it, then you're having fun, and it doesn't really matter what wins Game of the Year. I think sometimes we all need to just step back and say, look, yes, there are Metascores out there, yes, there are Game of the Year nominations and all of that jazz, but at the end of the day, if you are enjoying the game you are playing, regardless of its Metascore, regardless of whether it has a Game of the Year nomination or whether it goes on to win that award, or how many nominations it has in total, you're having fun, and that is what counts. So anyways, Wastanders, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.